Hello everyone, Merc back again. This is now episode 40, wow, as the episodes fly, of our Enigmatica 6 Expert series. Today we are going to start off with the Book of Natural Aura, specifically looking at the altar here. So we crafted the actual altar block quite a while ago, but now we actually have to make the multi-block structure, and in order to do so, there are some fancy blocks here that are hard to pick out on this little diagram. But if we look at the next page, we can see they are golden stone bricks. Now, the recipe has been altered, so we can't see it here, but if we take a look in JEI, we'll see it is in the Petal Apothecary. 1 brilliant fiber, 1 mossy stone brick, and 1 phytogrow per craft, and we need 8 of these. I have the items right here ready to go, so let's go ahead and make them. This man will be helping us today. One of those in, one of those in, and then finally one of these in. Alright, we shouldn't need those anymore, and all you gotta do is drop a wheat seed on. Kablamo. We'll do this. I'm gonna move this over here. We'll have an empty hand to reset the recipe. And yeah, it's pretty standard from here. Aha! Quest completed. Natural altar. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Interestingly, it let me go on to the natural altar without having fully completed the token quest before it, but that's okay. That's actually great for us. Let's go ahead and accept the loot box. Oh, it looks like 8 gold powder. Not the best of rewards. Now, infused sunmetal ingots. This is what we're going to make today in our natural altar, and all it takes is sunmetal brick in the natural altar to get an infused sunmetal ingot. So, let's go ahead and do this. I already have the sunmetal bricks that I want to convert. I've got 16 of them, and it's a really, really easy, simple thing to do. All you have to do is make sunmetal blend, which is in the enchanting apparatus behind me, a few silver and sulfur and some source, right? We'll make 4 each. And I set this up using the same thing we did in a previous episode, where I set the pretty pipes up to put the items where they're supposed to go, dropped everything off in the first barrel, and everything came out in the second barrel. Outside of our city limits is where I'm setting up this altar. Now, one of the reasons why is because it says it will completely drain the natural aura in a single chunk, and I don't know if that affects neighboring chunks. We're not really that far away. This is where we do our Ritual of the Forest, which also uses aura, so hopefully it doesn't negatively impact that. I have made ourselves the base of what this looks like, and this is definitely a lot bigger than the normal one, but let's go ahead and take a look at the book. So the book has a really cool feature where when you're looking at the natural altar, you can click the visualize button, right? And this will let you place it wherever you want. Like, let's say we wanted to put it over there. I could click, and then it stays. And then you can just kind of build it to your own, design and fill the blocks in. However, we want it up here, so we're going to center it right on this block. So we click it again, click there, and now you're going to see at the top 40 out of 49. So we have almost all the blocks in the right spot. Now, this is definitely a larger platform than what was in the book, but I wanted to make something that looked a little fancy, maybe a little raised up off the ground, some fancy large staircase to get up to it. It's diagonal, which is a little different too. Let's see, the gold bricks, gold stone bricks, go here, and then there'll be 1 on each of these. And you can see when you place the blocks in their correct spot, it does start counting up on the thing. And if I were to place this block somewhere else, actually, I assume if you break these, you get it back, but let's just double check with something else. If I put something here, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. What's going to happen, though, if I put a stone brick in the wrong spot? Interestingly enough, it kind of looks like it put the right thing there, but it did not. See, our counter didn't go up, and the little outline is actually indicating what's supposed to be there. I was kind of hoping it was going to glow red. It didn't do that, though. So we'll put this one there, we'll put that one there, and I'm missing this one here. This is the one unfortunate one, since it's like on our stairway coming up, but that's okay. Natural altar, down. Complete! And then it goes away. Ooh, look at the particle effects. So the book, if we take a look at the book, it does say it will slowly drain the aura in the vicinity. It's not strong enough to cause major damage, but it does say that it will basically drain everything. Wow, this is actually really cool particle effects with everything coming off of there, stuff coming in from the distance. You know, I wonder why those two specifically have the particle. Oh, I got close to this one and now it's going too. Will this do the same? You know, maybe it's charging up. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm gonna put one of these on and see what happens. There we go, infused sun metal ingot. So I want to do all of these. I don't know, can I just drop it? It doesn't look like it. So doing one at a time, I'm going to do these 16 one at a time. It's going to be a little time consuming, but I'm assuming we could probably automate this pretty simply with pretty pipes like we did our enchanting apparatus inside the building. We now have our 16 infused ingots, which is pretty cool. And man, I'm still impressed by these particle effects. I didn't think this thing was going to look anywhere near this cool. Now, what was the point of this? Well, I mean, one thing that we absolutely want to do is we want to progress through all of our quests. We're actually going to accept that box. Oh, we got a token of sorrow out of that. Let's go ahead and get this one too. It's going to give us some ancient logs and another box. We'll scroll up and take a look back at the Magic Apprentice. We're going to go ahead and try to get ourselves a weak blood orb and an unholy symbol today as well, maybe an alchemy table, and then get into white chalk. So one of the things that we really want requires occultism, and it's going to require a summoning sigil, and I don't know how far we have to progress in this. I don't expect to be able to do it today, but if we come back in and look at the refined storage, we really want these disk drives. And in order to get these disk drives, we need to be able to make the large storage disk. So if we take a look at the storage part, this thing requires all sorts of stuff, right? But one of the things is a dimensional storage crystal. And this dimensional storage crystal comes from a dimensional crystal matrix, which comes from the occultism Striker's Higher Binding. So this is something that we absolutely need to work towards if we want to really get our storage system up and running efficiently. Wow, I didn't realize until now, but one of those quests gave us more infused sun metals. Now we're at 24, which is nice. We're going to need a bit more than that as well, because there's something processing right behind me. That centrifuge, I always have this thing going, and let me tell you, it is just slow. Look how slow this thing processes. I filled this like all up with bottles and honeycomb, and I've got another chest over here with honeycomb too, and it just takes so much time to get your materials out. So they have the multi-block centrifuge, and we have a space for this over in our apiary building. This takes 35 centrifuge casings and 1 controller, and the controller takes more casings, but you'll notice infused sun metal is part of the recipe for all of these blocks. Other than that, machine frames, redstone engineering blocks, and the centrifuge itself are all things that we have made before. So today, I think we're going to get our apiary really sort of cranking out the materials when we need it. And in the future, we'll actually have it automated. So when our materials, like let's say iron, if iron drops below a certain threshold, it's automatically going to pull honeycombs into the centrifuge and get it going. But that's not today. Let's do a test now to see if we can actually automate this in a good fashion here. So I think we're going to put boxes there. I think that looks all right. We're going to get, oh, not cable. We want pretty pipe. This going in and out on both sides. Now then, we'll say this is the input chest, and we'll go ahead and put the sun metal in there. And we're just going to put a low extraction module right on it. And that's going to go in. Perfect. The extras bounce back. And then we'll put one over on this side too. However, we're going to need to probably filter this, or it's going to go in and maybe come out immediately. Oh, maybe it doesn't. We don't have to do anything special. I was actually thinking that we were going to have to filter in there, but we don't have to. They made that really simple. So, if you don't want to stand around putting ingot in after ingot, here you go. Super simple, quick setup. After a bunch of crafting, we now have all of the machine frames that we need. So, if if we take a quick look, it says we need 35 centrifuge casings. However, we do need 4 more for the controller. So we need 39 in total. So that's what we will be making right now. And we get 1 extra. Now let's go ahead and make our centrifuge controller. We do need to make another centrifuge real quick, but that's quick and simple. Here is the controller. Bum-ba-da-ba. Multi-block centrifuge complete. Let's go ahead and see what legendary Resourceful Bee's loot box looks like, right? What's going to be inside this? It could be anything. In fact, let's go ahead and sort our inventory. I want to store these basalt shards, that redstone, yeah, just like this. And we'll take our epic Oreos, 1 to 3. We got 2, that's not bad. Let's see, we got elite centrifuge casings. Oh, hold on a second. I didn't even think about potentially being able to upgrade this again. It takes Isnium ingots, which, you know, we're not ready to make, but look at that. We could even go higher. And we got 2 silver bees. Unfortunately, I think we probably have silver bees covered. Back at our apiary building, you can see our scaffolding has been outlining for quite a long time what we're going to do here. If we come into the book, the Resourceful Bee book, look for the multi-block centrifuge, we can do the same exact thing that we did earlier with our ritual altar. All we want to do is put this basically right there. And that's it, right? The only block that's different on this whole construction is the controller, and I think I want to put the controller over here, because this is where our telepoint is. This is how we most often access the building. So let's go ahead and put that on right now, just so we don't have to worry about it. This didn't automatically complete. You see 34 out of 45. So this didn't automatically complete, and it actually looks like it wanted more blocks. So this multi-block structure might actually be dynamic. We might be able to make it smaller or even larger. However, right, the quest book had us make 39 of well, really 35 of the casings here, and we put them all up. And when we click on this, we can see, it does indeed work. So this is great, as it should allow us to do 3 crafts at one time, and we should also be able to use blocks, not just the combs. Unfortunately, you can see this also takes power, and we don't have any power routed over here, and we don't have access to wireless power or anything like that yet. So at the moment, this is going to be a slightly manual process, I think, in order to come here and use like a redstone flux cell to give it power and probably to fill it up and all that kind of stuff. But we will be getting here in the future for sure to get this even more automated. Now, I'm not too sure. Can we pump power in on any block? That's what we're going to try real quick. I want to put this down, and we're going to say the back slot, which should be this guy right here. We're going to say output. Yep, we're seeing power go in. How much can this hold? 50,000 RF. All right. I think we'll keep our flex cell here for a short moment, and we're going to try some things. We're going to craft a full 64 stack of these nether quartz honeycombs, and then we're going to throw it in and see what happens. Okay, so it does not automatically, it doesn't automatically put it in the different slots, but if we manually put it in the other slots, it will show that we can do 3 at once. The other thing we don't have in here right now are bottles, which could be a problem if we fill up on the honey. But this was mainly a initial test to see how this thing works with multiple blocks. So I have just found a defect in my planning, and it's only planning on the layout here. So normally, this apiary travel anchor, all I do is stand here and I right-click on Create Factory, and I would go. However, now that this multi-block is here, it wants to interact with the multi-block first and foremost. At the moment, I could just warp over there and get around. But that's going to be real annoying when I'm here and want to go straight back. So we're probably going to want to move this travel block to probably like over here on this side. And if we do, we'll probably put the controller on the other side as well. I've done a little bit of modification to slightly automate our apiary system over here. Take a look at this. Again, this is just super simple, pretty pipes. We have an extract right here, and we have an extract over here. And then all you have to do, right, put your bottles in here, you can put your honeycombs in here, and they will go right into the centrifuge. And then take a look at this. You get 3 whole blocks going at the same time. Well, we didn't get anything out of that one. But the huge benefit out of this, right, is we're doing 9, because it takes 9 honeycombs to make a block. 9 times 3, 27. We're doing 27 honeycombs in the same time as the basic centrifuge back in the other base can do, like, I don't know, not even half of 1 honeycomb. So we have significantly sped this process up. Significantly. I mean, in the time we spent here, the other one's probably only gone through 2 honeycombs. Look at all this. Look at all this output. This will be ripe for our automation needs. And to top it off, the machine doesn't appear to be taking crazy amounts of power, right? Look at this. This thing was not quite full when we put it down, and we've barely even touched its power reserve. And on final completion of those 3 stacks of honeycomb blocks, our storage has filled up. Granted, it's only a single unmodded chest. Take a look at that. 1 full chest and a lot more. This will significantly speed up our resource procurement. Now, the way that I'm going to transport this is, because this, if I just put this all in my inventory, it would take a while. But I do happen to have, right, a chest in the form of a backpack. I'm going to go ahead and do this. It should be able to put everything back into my backpack. Well, some of it went into the centrifuge, but that's okay. That didn't work as nicely as I would have liked, and I did have to manually move some things in here, but take a look at this, right? We do have the stack upgrades, so we've got 256 in some of the slots, but that is a lot of items. We may actually want to put a backpack here as the normal storage with, you know, a stack upgrade, and then it'll be able to hold on to a whole lot more. We can come back, pick it up, and move it over to our main base when we need it. Again, that is a mid-tier step until we get this hooked up to the refined storage system. Now, on to our next task. Behind me, we have our old Eidolon altar. We're going to actually give this a little bit of an upgrade. So we're going to remove that bit, and we're going to put stone altars underneath. Now, the book doesn't mention this, but I believe the stone altars probably enhance the power of everything else. The other thing, too, is we have a wither skull and a goblet. So first off, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and take a look at our questing, right? We want the weak blood orb. When we click that, it tells us, oh, we need the unholy symbol, and that is the other part of this quest. So how do we make a holy symbol? The unholy symbol is produced by chanting the touch of darkness at a pewter inlay dropped on the ground. Well, that means we should be able to find the touch of darkness in here somewhere. However, I can't find it anywhere, and that must mean we don't have it unlocked yet. In the past, what we were doing is we were coming here, we were doing 3 of these, that's the dark prayer, and I would do this once a day. I haven't done it in quite a long time, but eventually we did unlock this one here, which we can use for sacrifice animal. In order to sacrifice an animal, you do also have to have a goblet. So here's our goblet. We're going to put it down there. And I also have a wither skeleton skull, because if we come look at here, we look at altar skulls. This is going to give us 3 capacity and 1 power. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've read through the book, and I don't necessarily know exactly what capacity or power does, but we're going to use this one, because I have one. It's ready. Now, in order to sacrifice an animal, we do have to have an animal here to fill the blood up. So I have a cow in this bottle. Make him big, and kapow! Look at that. The goblet is now full. It is A little red in there. So when we come back here and we take a look at the sacrifice animal, it's one of the purple, and then the red, and purple again. So we're gonna go purple, red, purple again. Chant. Oh, we unlocked a soul sign. That was pretty lucky. Also, we can see our goblet is now empty. So what's the soul sign we got? This soul sign is the etching by which souls are attached to beings. Oh, ooh, is this one potentially for sacrificing villagers? What did we learn in here? Oh, wow. We learned a bunch of things in here. First off, we did get the Touch of Darkness. Touch of Darkness is, oh, the original purple, the new one we just got in a doubled up pattern. So great, we can make this now. I didn't think we were going to be able to make this in the next 5 minutes. Let's go back again. We now know about stone altars. The stone altars, it says, are the same as wooden, but enable more powerful rites to be performed. So we definitely needed this. I don't know if we needed it yet. And then the elder statue. You know, this actually isn't the right recipe for it, but this elder statue is going to be better than the straw effigy that we have on the table. Let's go downstairs now and make our unholy symbol. We just need a pewter inlay. Maybe we should make 2? I think we should make 2. One, 2. So it just says you throw them on the ground. I don't know that we even need to have the altar next to us. And, of course, I picked them back up. Dang it. Let's take our magnet off for a short moment. Oh, we picked it back up again. Maybe we can't do it when they're doubled up. Aha! I think that was the case. When there was 2 of them like in a stack on the floor, I do believe that prevented the craft. Great, now we have 2. Now then, in order to turn this unholy symbol into the weak blood orb, we do need to go to our blood altar. It's going to take 7,000 LP, which does sound like a lot, so I have a dagger of sacrifice ready with some wheat to breed more cows. I'll meet you over there. Back over at our blood altar, I have given a whole bunch of wheat out, so there should be a whole bunch of babies now. Let's take a look at the altar itself. We currently have 2.3 buckets of blood in there, and I think, right, 7,000 might be 7 buckets. So let's go ahead and start filling this thing up. We're at 9.9. I think that's gonna be enough. Let's get these cows out of here, because man, are they annoying. Now, all we should have to do is just pop this in. It looks like this is gonna take some time. The blood orb has been created. I just looked at it right as it crafted, so that's pretty great. Collected. No rewards for this quest, but that's alright. The alchemy table is the next thing on our radar. And look, it needs more stone altars, which we can make. It needs protective fabric. Let's take a look. This is just cured rubber and string. We should be able to make that, no problem. Brewing stands, which, let me tell you, we don't need to make because I have a few extra from that end boat. A blank slate. So this is going to require our blood altar. We're going to need to make some other stone slate in order to craft the blank slate. Let's see. Other stone slabs, flux, and source gems in the enchanting apparatus. This will be pretty easy, honestly. And then finally, a tinted jar. This can store bowls, interesting, bottles, buckets, cookies, and small mobs. How about that? This is, let's see, any kind of stained glass and wooden slab. Let's get out of here for the time being. Our current auto crafting setup with the arcane pedestals is good for now, but I can see that we're probably going to need something much different in the future. The blood magic blank slates, I think, are very basic to this mod pack and just the mod in general, right? And so we're going to need to probably make a whole lot of them, which means we're going to need to have a whole lot of these other stone slates. And this is an auto craft setup right now. We'll go ahead and put these in and we'll see them. I reconfigured it so that they go in through the bottom so that we were able to get, this one specifically was the problem since we pump out of there. But we'll see this. We should get the source piece in just a second. There it goes. And this works great for our short manual crafts. I mean, this is automated, right? But, and I could put a whole stack of items in here and everything. But, right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the other stone slabs. They themselves, either you have to mine them, which is how we got them originally, or you can use the spirit fire to transform arcane stone into other stone. Arcane stone is an item channeling, so the lightning altar, an apatite, source, and clay. Again, we could really automate almost all of this setup. So it's probably going to have to be a thing once we get a little bit further into these mod packs. But now that we have these other stone slates, let's go ahead and go back and convert them into blank slates. There is something that we didn't do here right after we crafted our weak blood orb. So if you right click it, it's going to bind it to me. I took a tiny bit of damage, but it has now bound it to me. Current owner, Merxerain. So now if we actually stick this in the blood altar, it's going to start absorbing blood out of the altar and put it into the soul network. Now there's a way to see how much soul essence you have. I think it's called soul essence. There is actually a slate, if I can find it, peer into the soul. I think this here is what would let us see how much is in our network. But at this time, let's go ahead and pop it out. I don't think there's another way to see it at this moment. So we're not going to totally fill it if there's no reason to. We will, though, need to get a few more sacrifices going. Because each one of these other stone slates needs one whole bucket, or 1,000 of the blood. This is totally automatable as well, probably in the very same way that we've automated a lot of other things. One chest for input, one chest for output, pretty pipes in and out with probably small filters on them. With our blood altar currently empty and without me having more wheat to breed these guys up, I think we're going to leave the rest of our cows alone and use the 9 blank slates that we've just procured. We should now be ready to craft our alchemy table. And just like that, complete. I'm going to set this up right here for the time being. May only be used in the Undergarden. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can put it up right next to our blood altar. But this does mean, oh look, we've completed the blank slate. Hey, they're giving us the pretty pipe items to do the automation. That's nice of them. So the alchemy table reward is a rare blood magic loot box. We'll take that and the alchemist's delight. The last part of this path is the alchemy flask, which we're not even going to go for right now. Likely, we're going to go back up to our magic chapter here and try to make the white chalk. This is impure chalk in the blood altar. Impure chalk is made from otherworld ash, burnt otherstone, and some plant oil. I was totally ready to start making our white chalk. However, I've just looked at the time and we've hit the episode limit. We're already there. It just flew by, didn't it? So I think in the next episode, we'll keep going with this little magic journey we're on, continuing with that. The white chalk should be pretty easy to do at the beginning of that episode, and we'll have most of the whole first section done, except for this wicked altar controller. And this thing here is something I think we can probably make, but it's a big multi-block structure. And I don't exactly know what we use it for, although we can tell it's like Eidolon related. So I don't think we're gonna probably focus on that in the next episode. I think we will probably focus on the next tiers over here and getting a little bit further into occultism and hopefully getting us much closer to disk drives for our refined storage system in the back, because then we could remove a lot of the storage buses that we have upstairs on those chests. So, I hope you join me for our next magical episode. This is Merc Serene signing off.